Hello.
Bonjour and welcome to Tuesday evening. It is 7:01 on Tuesday don't know, what day is it?
11th of May.
Tuesday. It is the 11th of May. Do you know how I know it's 11th of May, John?
Because I just told you.
Because it's my brother's 50th birthday. Woo! So, hence the reason why I'm in my car. I've been to Peterborough this morning at 4 o'clock, worked all day in Peterborough, drove back from Peterborough to my house, which is 3 hours, picked up my kids, took them to my brother's 50th birthday party, and left halfway through to join you lovely people live here on Seedcast, which we are on a Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock. So,
how does your brother feel about this? Like, mate, I'm sorry, I'm going to just go and chat to some bloke for half an hour. I'll be back later.
To be honest, John, this is what we do and this is what we set this for. Unfortunately, our lives don't necessarily revolve, are fluid. You know, obviously, sometimes we can't make it. If we're dying of COVID or if other things are happening, then we can't make the calls. But the idea of this is we do this on a Tuesday at 7. We put a fair bit into this. So for the people that come and either watch us live or watch us when we come to this, I enjoy doing it. You know, it is, I'm going to take him for breakfast tomorrow morning. That shouldn't be too much of an issue, but ultimately we're here and we're live. I am on my mobile phone in the front of my van, as you can probably tell. Where am I? I am parked outside a petrol station in a place called Sharon-by-Sea. So anyway, John, how are you?
I'm good. It's kind of, we're all on the move. I've just come back from a meeting. I was in Vauxhall meeting someone earlier, and I literally just walked in the door. So I guess it's the dynamic nature of it. You know, we're spending, as things change, we spend less time, and yours is a social, mine is work, but we spend less time wedded to our computers and stuck to our desk. So I guess it's kind of how it's going to be, rushing around rather than just sitting still staring at a screen, which is good, right? It just means we've got to be a bit more organised.
Yeah, and I think organisation is important to it, and I think a structure to anything is important. But if we look at, if we look at what we're talking about right now, we're talking across our platforms, we're talking across social media. By the way, guys, this is live, so if you're watching this live, then please feel free to comment. I'm not sure if I can see the comments come up on my mobile. Look at this, but
I'll let you know.
Yeah,
that's good. I get editorial license and get to choose rather than you, which is great. I like this. But yes, the multi-platform that is Seedcast.
Yeah, and I think we have many conversations about this between yourself and me, John, about what platform to choose and what social media sector to use and what to look at. And we obviously get really excited when new ones come out. And you know, my part of what I do commercially heavily it relies on social media and me getting my not quite so beautiful face across in front of as many people as possible, so that builds from that side of it. You know, how do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, you've got to pick and choose your social media, right? There's a lot of them, and there's not enough of them. That's an interesting thing to say in one sentence. So you have to pick and choose. You can't be all things to all people. You know, let's be honest. KYC, AML doesn't really work on TikTok, but then, you know, selling a pair of Nike Jordans doesn't really work on LinkedIn. So you do have to pick and choose.
Okay, so let's look at what platforms we are, and you know what we've looked at, what we've talked about. I mean, we've obviously had a little bit of a restructure of what we do on Seedcast and what we're going to do moving forwards. Once we get to that point in that structure, we'll let our viewers know a little bit more about what's happening in that space. But ultimately, what Seedcast is reliant on social media, because otherwise, right now, eventually we will be doing this live. We'll be talking to people face to face. We'll be you and I be sitting up front taking questions from a live audience, and that is ultimately where we see this ending up. But you know, if we look at the platforms that we're across now, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram,
Twitter,
Clubhouse, all of this sort of stuff. You know, what really is their use? I mean, let's talk about Clubhouse briefly. You know, you knew I was going to say that, but
what is their use? Don't get me started on that one.
Clubhouse. I went in there to start off with, and I was all excited. And I was like, you know what, this seems like a really good place for us to go and hang out and do what we do. I now find myself every week turning off notifications because for some bloody reason I get notifications between 1 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and
Well,
a lot of them.
It's because it's mainly American, and it's going to get worse as they release Android Now version in the US beta testing, and then we'll get it late summer. By the way,
so what you're trying to say is the 7 people that have got Android, they're going to get it as well. So there can be another 7 more people on.
Yeah. Saganya says hi, Anthony.
Who's that?
Saganya.
Saganya. Let me see if I can see.
No, but she says hi, Anthony. Not a care or a consideration from me, but thank you, Saganya.
That's really. Saganya is absolutely lovely. I work with her at Lysis. She's absolutely fantastic at a job working on the financial crime space. And Pooja Tadashwa, bosh, nailed it off the bat. Thanks, Pooja, for adding me. She's a candidate I have recently placed, and a company that we can't disclose. But she's had a lovely. She's been absolutely fantastic. To be honest, she called me 10 minutes ago, and funnily enough, she doesn't follow me on LinkedIn, which I was hugely disappointed. So Pooja, really disappointed. I thought you're one of my number one heroes, but that's a really good example, and Saganya as well, of people who. It's kind of like it's not like Facebook, LinkedIn, and it shouldn't be like Facebook, LinkedIn, but I'm really myself on LinkedIn. I found on Clubhouse, I was trying to be somebody. Does that make sense?
No, it does. Well, first of all, LinkedIn is becoming more like Facebook, unfortunately. Actually, I'm going to put a poll up that should we have more polls? Because, I mean...
I love a poll. I did a poll. Yeah,
why don't we do I'm going to do, after this, I'm going to do a poll asking whether we should have more polls. And the options on the answers are going to be interesting. Because it's just nuts. So first of all, LinkedIn is becoming a bit more like Facebook, which is disappointing. Yeah. But I get your point. I got sucked into Clubhouse and resisted. It is a bit like a whirlpool.
I will resist.
I will resist. Yes. So, it's so easy. I hear about people spending hours and hours on it, and the thing just pings all the time with like, oh, you should go. Someone I've never heard of is inviting me to a room that's got no interest to me whatsoever, is happening at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, really? So
talking about headspace or mindset.
Yeah, it's like we've got a conversation at 3 o'clock in the morning talking about, are wheels on the bus round or square? And you should be here because it's a great conversation. No, I'm sorry, no. So the reality is, it's a good idea. It's kind of live podcasts, and if you read the stats, podcasts are going through the roof. So it kind of makes sense. And one of the guys behind it is a very well-known, very well-regarded founder with amazing success behind him. So he clearly knows what he's doing. He's hit on an idea. The problem is there's no intellectual property. Anyone can steal it. So you've got Twitter going to do their own thing. You've got Facebook pretty much going to do their own thing. We've got LinkedIn live streaming anyway. So it's kind of it's going to get swamped because everyone else is going to take over. And it's part of me is like pleased because that's one less thing to worry about. In fact, tonight, we are not going through Clubhouse because I just couldn't be bothered.
For the 6 people that watch us through Clubhouse.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, so part of me is like, there's one less thing to worry about, hooray. And another part of me is like, hang on a minute. Thereby, creativity is swamped by guys with much deeper pockets and much more money and much more followers. So I'm actually really conflicted. Part of me feels that there's too many platforms, too much, but yes, we all have a right to leave at any point if we want to. But the other part of me thinks there's no competition, So I'm a bit, I don't know what the answer is. I do know that the Facebooks of this world are too big, but I also don't know that I don't want 5 different versions of Facebook.
Yeah, because I guess then the marketing has got to be spread across different areas. I mean, when Clubhouse came out, I was like, mate, this is the shizzle nizzle. You even bought an iPhone, which has changed your life. You know what I mean?
No, because there's no SIM card in it. It only works on Wi-Fi, and it never needs my
just accept it, John. Just accept it. But we've obviously got face for videos. You know what I mean? We're 2 handsome young men who are blessed with handsome chiseled features. So not everybody has that. So podcasts are better for a lot of people, but for us, We clearly want people to be able to see us and reflect for that. And, you know, my kids hate watching me live because, you know, I'm fat, bald and old. But, you know, I'm not fussed about that, really. I just want my public, my what are
So
they called?
your
My
public,
subjects.
your autographs later, darling.
Yeah, my subjects to know me. Like Pooja, a really good example. Pooja Dinashwa, nailed it both times. Please, somebody jump on and say hi to John. I feel bad. Pooja, I've never met her, but she can call me on a Sunday and we can have a chat. It's not a problem because we've got to know each other through the process of what we do. People that watch me on LinkedIn and watch us live, they will know us to the point, because this is just us, right? I'm the young, agile, sort of, you know, edgy kind of like stylish guy, and you're the other guy. Like Ren and Stimpy.
But moving swiftly on, something you said earlier about Clubhouse was about how you kind of you weren't yourself, and you're right. Look, Sagania, hi John, hello.
Yeah, Sagania is lovely. She's yeah.
She is now. I mean, she had her moments. I mean, you're right.
My fan club,
there's so many people on there, and I'm not saying you can't tell how genuine you are, because you go there for the content, not for the people. But you know, it is one of those.
Is that true though? Do you go for the content, not the people? Because let's face it, John. There's 100 people that could tell you to get a positive mindset. Why does pick somebody that's not a complete lunatic? You know, why do these people gravitate to these people? It's because of the people. You know what I
mean? Yeah, there are known entities. So you know, your favourite Grant Cardone, he suddenly says, I'm getting a room. Who wants to join me? Because he's Grant Cardone and because he's got the followers, suddenly everyone jumps in. Ant Baker says, I'm getting a room.
And everyone else is.
Yeah, but Ant Baker says, I'm getting a room and I'm going to talk about exactly the same thing. Nobody knows who you are. So it is feeding.
They turn up, realise they're the only two people in it, then leave straight away before they get collared in.
But it is feeding the machine. Yeah. And I think Clubhouse is going to get to the point where it's just the big names. It just becomes spectator sport. But the problem
That's what it is now.
Yeah, possibly. But the problem is, it's the first original thought that that social media's had in a while, and it's just going to get stolen by everyone else. But the problem is, it's going to get stolen by Facebook, by Twitter, by TikTok, by Instagram, by LinkedIn, and it's like, oh, hang on a minute, it's what's that name of that film? It's The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
You know, do we need to break up social media, or just need to give in and accept the fact that freedom of speech is now dictated to us by a very rich Californian?
You know what though? If you came up with this and you're going to become rich out of it, mate, all the best to you, dude. You know what I mean? Success is not limited. If one person, the guy that came up with this idea, Facebook, for an example, Mark Zuckerberg, he is ridiculously wealthy, but I use his platform. I have massive amounts of enjoyment from using Facebook. I get to talk to my friends all over the world, and without that, I wouldn't have that opportunity. So actually, you know what? All the power to him.
I don't have a problem with what he's achieved. I don't have a problem with his idea, and we could get into it wasn't his idea and all that kind of stuff, No, but it wasn't. It wasn't an original idea. He just had a much better way of delivering what other people had already worked out. System. Yeah. So and I have no fault with all that. My challenge is that it is now just, and it's not the only one. It's now just so big. There is no room for competition. But actually, do I want to log on to 3 different? Does anyone remember Friends Reunited? Nobody logs onto that anymore.
Onto what?
Friends Reunited or MySpace?
Right, I don't know. But the 70s were a different time, John.
MySpace, any of those kind of things, they've all gone. And there is I
didn't get MySpace. I was just after that.
There is a last mover advantage, as you all know. You copy someone, you do it better. But the reality is, I'm not sure what the future is for social media. Is it too big, or is it that's just how it is? By the way, have you watched Hawaii Five-0 yet?
No, mate. Dude, do I even want to talk? I had my jab on Saturday. I'm not sure if I told you.
Yes.
Or anybody else.
Multiple
told everybody. But I had COVID. almost died. Probably the person that almost died that had it the worst out of anybody in the country, and I then had my jab on Saturday, slept for 24 hours, had to work yesterday, and then had to drive 400 miles today, and go to a birthday party, which, by the way, was outside. I picked my son up, my youngest, and he's like, "Do I need a jacket, Daddy?" I was like, "No, get in the car." On the way there, I'm like, "Crap, it's going to be outside." His little bones are just shivering.
Get him a blanket.
Yeah, I felt.
So
I felt
you need to, Hawaii 5-0. Bearing in mind you both lived in Hawaii and your brother's 50. I can't believe. Just go back and say Bookham Dano, and you'll be done with. They'll be fine.
He watched less TV than I did when we were growing up. So okay.
So what do we do? So 2 questions. What do we do with social media? Are we just constrained? Are we just giving it is what it is? I mean, we're not going to change it. Don't get me wrong. Some, like I said, some in California is not going to listen to me. Or, is it about time it was broken up? Into discrete parts. And, what do we do?
Well, it is broken up. It's broken up in age groups. Age groups. My daughter's 17. She doesn't she looks at Facebook occasionally just to see what random stuff I'm doing, but she's Instagram and Snapchat because it's transactional. This is what pictures like that of her like doing whatever. It's not reality, is it? It is fake pictures put up because she's trying to tell people that she's living her best life. Hashtag best life. Hashtag no makeup. I've got no makeup on right now. And there's no filters, people. This is exactly what I look like. Yeah. That's true. This is what I look like.
But that's the point with social media. What was it? Someone said, spending money you haven't got, trying to impress people you don't know.
Yeah. Instagram. I mean, everyone's got an Instagram account, right? Every man's Instagram account is full of girls in bikinis, except for mine because I've got a beautiful wife. So I think with when things like Instagram, that is not reality. That is that is literally. But should it be reality? Should that be or not?
Well, we're getting into fake news territory, which is fake news is slander and libel, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's all over this place. You could go on LinkedIn and see people talking about their best life and oh my God, I smashed this or I smashed that, and they're living in their mum's basement. You know what I mean? And wearing fake Rolexes. I think that there's a certain element of social media that you have to be able to go. I'm going to take this at some sort of value. For me, for example, people that I meet think that I'm a little bit out there, for a 35-year-old man, that I'm a little bit crazy. And I think, that's probably warranted in some respects. But when they get to know me, they get to realise that is legitimately what I'm like, So afterwards they go, oh, okay. The people that I work with now at the One Group, beautiful people, absolutely amazing people, wonderful. When I first started, they're like, this guy is full of BS, and now I've been there for 4 weeks. They're like, oh, okay, maybe he's not. Maybe that's just what he's like. When is he going to stop? Is he going to eventually slow down? Is that what's going to happen? And you know what? The fat man keeps on rocking. I dubbed myself the Puma.
Yes. Yeah. So, question then.
There's no coming back from that. It should just be silence. The Puma.
So we're not going to bother with the Clubhouse on Seedcast from now on then.
I just, what, our other venture that we're looking at, and I'm not sure if you want to mention it, but our other venture that we're looking at and we're working through, that is a Clubhouse environment. That is a legitimately a way that people can do something, the thing that we're going to educate and train them. We've gone really niche, we've gone really specific, we've spent a lot of time, me a little bit more than you, putting this stuff together. Jesus, I've spent a lot more time reading emails than you have.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's true.
But when we do launch that, by the time we get to the point that it's launched, both of our creative pathways and juices are coming into one, which is way more difficult than what it seems, right? You know,
Yes.
we do this, and we do this a lot. We talk a lot with good friends. We know all this sort of stuff. You know, we know when it's called BS. We know when what's reality is. We know when to help each other out when they need it. And I think that is very, very difficult. Which is why there's very few coaches that are two people.
No. Well, first of all, you're right. Most coaches, they have their way, they have their processes, their structure, their systems, and it's either something they've developed themselves or something they've stolen and redeveloped. But you're right. Very few coaches. I'm just going to ignore you and carry on because most people do. Most coaches, you're absolutely right, work solo, or they like you have a lead coach and then it's like, right, you need this. I'm going to refer you to this person. You need this. I'm going to refer you to this person. But you're absolutely right. But the reality is how you and I work. This is completely unscripted. None of it is ever. The most scripted we ever get is when I send you an email and you don't read it.
Do you remember when we did the video? We did a video, guys. So watching this bit of entertainment is we were going to come up with a CCAST video, and I think we've done it. We put it online. So we scripted what we were going to do and what we write. Bearing in mind, this is obviously live, and all the stuff that we do is one take, bosh, done. My daily bakes, all that sort of stuff. It's all live. And honestly, it took us 40 minutes to do a 40-second video clip. Oh, we just couldn't bloody create because I think that there's a certain amount of license that needs to come from being able to be, which is why I love doing this. I don't care if it's just you and me on this, because I actually really enjoy this. Because you've got to think a little piece ahead. Otherwise, one, you swear and you say silly things. Two, it takes a long time to build a reputation. It takes a very short, it takes a quick sentence or poor, Halloween outfit to ruin everything that happens. And I think social media, a lot of, for instance, Monday morning, this coming Monday, we've got Connor, who's a new start for me, who I've met before, and I saw him again today. Really lovely chap. He is going to come on live, and he is going to get a full injection of the Daily Bake live on Monday morning on his first day of work in a new business. Bearing in mind he's a junior recruiter. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, he certainly doesn't know what's going to happen. That's for sure. I mean, it's a bit like dunking the poor chap on the ducking stool, isn't it? Poor chap. Yeah. It's a bit mean, but no,
you've got to do it.
Yeah, all right, maybe. There's a lot to be said for natural and unscripted. There's a lot to be said for structured. Well, natural and unscripted isn't unstructured, but there's a lot also to be said for very carefully, well planned and developed. And they're just two different schools of thought. I've just come back from a meeting. With a potential client, and we talked about there's a startup and how they put some structure around getting their first 3 clients, and they said, well, that doesn't get us where we want to get to. I said, no, and I said to them, that if you want to go and land on the moon, the first thing you got to do is get the rocket off the ground. Now there's an awful lot of structure and process to that, and some work that way.
Yep.
In terms of how you and me work, it's no. We just fire a catapult at the moon and hopefully it hits.
Yeah, and I think that's we've had a lot of discussions internally about what this works, how this works, and social media has a really important part to play in all the stuff that we do daily. A lot of your clients come from social media, that of marketing that you do that brings it in. A lot of my candidates come from that. A lot of my clients know me because of the stuff that I put online and the content that I create, because it is about creation. It's about content creation, because it's very easy to copy somebody and go, I copied, this is how that works and so on and so forth. But actually being able to create what we've done tonight, 25 minutes in, is unique content. No one else has had the same conversation that you and I have just had. I mean, there might be people that are close, but our idea is 2 different ideas that we talk about and we discuss it. That platform is the media platform that we're on right now, and I think the interesting side to this is it's really, I mean, we started this so people could have a bit of entertainment, and this bit of entertainment, a bit of fun for us. It's kind of like morphed into something slightly different, and we've got, a little bit more a few more followers, and a bit more, we went from 1,000 views to a couple of thousand views and a little bit more. And I think with that, it's almost like we kind of went, right, let's go and ask the public what they thought. No one wrote anything, because I think people now, they want content. They want to look at it and be entertained by the content. but they don't really want to have to do too much to go and get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it would be entertained but not engaged. No, I completely get it. You know, you're right. People just want to consume rather than make the effort to contribute and all that kind of stuff. So, and maybe that's, you know, going back to Clubhouse. Maybe that's the thing with Clubhouse. You just jump on and listen to it, and you don't have to think or do anything. You know, it's just like listening to background music. It's just noise.
Well, you sit there waiting for hours, then you put your hand up.
Hours? No, 20 minutes. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, I did a fair bit of time in my first time. In fact, me and Ruella did some recruitment stuff. Do you remember our one that we did on a Friday evening?
Yes.
Best time ever on Clubhouse. If you're doing a Clubhouse and you're going to talk about consultancy, go on a Friday night at 6 o'clock. After 5 minutes, we were like, quick, guys, let's leave before anyone else joins us in.
But I went on one recently, and people asked, you know, somebody asked the question and people asked to respond, and I responded. And that was the only thing I said for I think it was 45 minutes, an hour. I said, I made one statement. And it was posted on social media as the quote of the thing. It's like, well, if you've gone to a 1 hour, you know, conference online, and the one takeaway is a throwaway line from somebody who wasn't even part of the key speakers, not sure you got your money's worth.
But is it about? But what's the investment?
Time, and time is the most valuable thing.
A lot of people have the time. They think that on social media, you know, I go to bed at night and my wife is scrolling through Facebook, and I'm like, what are you waiting for? What are you looking for? Just scrolling in case something catches my that catches my eye. I'm going to like that and share that. That's not consumption. That's just literally boredom. That's a habit, which funny enough, is stuff that we've talked about before. So I think social media, I love it. Social media, I like talking on it. I like you know, my daily bakes. I actually get enjoyment out of doing it. This stuff here with you, John, I enjoy it. You know, this has no commercial value right now for us, other than people getting to see who we are and potentially wanting to come and do business with us. But I do enjoy it, you know. And hopefully my brother will forgive me for leaving his 50.
But no, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. You know, social media serves a purpose. It adds benefit. Yes, it does fill up people's time. It does, you know, help people who are distant and remote engage with people. It does provide a whole load of stuff. You know, what does my head in is when you see someone, it's like, who posts up something that's absolutely clickbait. It's like, oh, I can't believe he did that. And somebody responds with like, why? What happened? What happened? Oh, message me. It's private.
Yeah.
Get a life.
I love it. I love a bit of clickbait, me.
Get a life. If you want to tell someone, tell someone. If you don't want to tell someone, don't tell someone. It's like, really? Yeah. You know, but I mean, the reality is, you know, social media, it's too invasive and they have too much power. End of.
Okay. So on that bombshell, they are too evasive and they have too much power. I think if all the social media's got turned off tomorrow, I don't know what happened. I'll probably end up chopping the kids up and eating them. Anyway, on that bombshell, chaps, it is Tuesday, the God knows of May, and it is 7:29. It has been an entertaining Seedcast tonight. We talked about social media and how that can impact you and what you should and what you shouldn't do based on our experiences. I'm joined, as always, by the wonderful John. John, Mr. Bubblehead from Galaxy High. It has been a fantastic experience, as usual. Have a lovely evening. I have got my food, which I ordered and didn't arrive before I had to leave, so I had to get it takeaway. Sat here next to me, smelling lovely. So we're going to leave, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully you've enjoyed this evenings of Seedcast. We will see you next Tuesday, and we look forward to it. Now I've got to figure out how to turn it off without it taking too long.